I always wanted to be a C-level woman. I always envisioned myself as a woman in leadership, and I wanted to be a boss. And I just remember looking down at my 6-month-old, and he's going, and he wants me to pick him up. And I'm like trying to get this deal closed. And I realized at that moment, I don't think I can do both right now. And as much as I loved my job, I knew that my children were going to take first priority. Always. Look at her. She's a lawyer and she's a yacht broker and she's a marketing guru. And I just thought, wow, the power at this table is so vast. I need to do something with this. I need to make this a bigger movement. And I'm on a mission to do that because I want to exponentially amplify women who are doing big things in the community. That fear came up, of like, I'm not good enough. And then the other voice was like, yes, go for it. The thing that scares you a little bit, but also gives you butterflies is what you should do. Say yes.
I first opened the doors to Grown 10 years ago. I honestly thought we were just reinventing fast food. But what I didn't realize is this was never just about the food. We were also building community. My name is Shannon Allen, and you're watching Grown Woman Season 2. Titles and roles can be heavy, especially if you didn't necessarily choose them for yourself. My next guest is an extraordinary woman, entrepreneur, mother, big dreamer, servant to her community, and she also holds the role of being the First Lady of University of Miami Canes football. I am so excited, privileged, and honored to welcome my friend Jessica Cristobal, wife of University of Miami head coach Mario Cristobal, to talk about what it looks like in between the moments when we're winning and how she maintains grace, beauty, integrity, joy, and love for her community, lifting up the leading ladies in her life, being a support system, a dependent of the big dream, and an extraordinary mother. Jessica Cristobal, I am so excited that you're here with me.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, the First Lady of UM Canes football, and so many other things. I want to start from the very beginning and tell me a little bit about what it was like being born in Germany with an identical twin, starting out your journey of Jessica.
Wow. Okay. Well, I was born into a military family. So my father was in the Army. Mm-hmm. So that meant we moved about every 2 years. Mm-hmm. So having a twin sister, and we do have a younger brother too, was like having a built-in best friend. Mm-hmm. And, moving around every couple of years was not easy, but I think it kind of forged us into being who we are, and it made us resilient to change and meeting new friends when we were young. And as teenagers, we had to go through those struggles and figuring out who our friends are, and then 2 years later moving away. So it was a challenge, but.
And that was before Facebook, Instagram, right? And so keeping in contact with friends must have been challenging.
It was, we had pen pals back in the day, so we'd write letters, right?
Oh my gosh, that's a lost
Which
art.
is funny, it is, right? Which is funny because now I'm still friends with those people because of social media. So once social media came on the scene 20 mm-hmm. years ago, we were able to reconnect. But it was, looking back, it was a valuable experience, but it wasn't always easy.
Yeah. And originally, where's your family from?
My mother's from California and my dad is from Georgia.
Wow. So like kind of Southern Belle energy.
A little. Yeah. My mom's got that California beach girls vibe. So, we have a little hybrid action. So
amazing.
Catholic and Baptist. So I was kind of raised in the middle.
That's so crazy. Like my family too. I was baptized Catholic. My sister was baptized Southern Baptist. And then my baby sister was baptized Congregational. It was just like, because my parents came from two different worlds. So it was like, I don't think they wanted to like claim any one thing. They were just like, this works at this time in our lives, which was wild. So having a twin sister, because I don't know if you know this, I think you know this, that I'm a grandmother of twin girls. Yes. So Tiara and her husband, I know. And you know what's so amazing? I'm already noticing that with Tiara and Travis, they're parenting Tatum, Tristan, and Teddy, the two youngest, Teddy and Tristan, are twin girls, in a way that they're identical twins, but they're already trying to encourage them to express their own unique identities and personalities, even at 1 year old.
Yeah.
Was that challenging, do you think, growing up, having this mirror next to you and having your own person? Okay, tell me.
Yes. So as soon as we were able to speak, we were like, I don't want to wear what she's wearing. And so it's so funny how our personalities just forged into two completely different people. You know, she's the creative, she's the artist, she's a fashion designer, she's a wardrobe consultant, and I love business and women's empowerment and success principles. So it's still to this day how funny how our styles have changed from the time when we were.
But like you said, you have a built-in best friend. You guys came into this world together, which is
right.
really amazing to always have that. And
Special.
I'm the oldest of 3 girls, so I love my sisters. My relationship with them is very much a friendship, so I understand that. And I grew up with twin cousins. I have twin cousins. We're only a month apart, and they were like, I mean, they have twin tuition. They can finish each other's sentences. We used to play games. They still do it. Yeah. One thinks of a number. You know, it's like, it's wild. Do you guys have that?
We do.
Twin tuition?
We do. It's very random, but you know, sometimes I'll see something that she posts on Instagram, and she's wearing an outfit that is almost identical or color-wise to what I'm wearing that same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is.
So you guys moved around a lot because your dad was in the
Army.
Mm-hmm. And your mom was a military dependent. Did she also work, or was she there fully as a support system in the military?
She was an officer's wife. So she kind of like the role that I have with Mario, she was kind of a leader as the leader of women of the brigade that my father was commanding at the time. So I actually took a lot of leadership principles from her.
So she modeled that for you.
Yes, absolutely.
And in your own right, through your journey, when did you settle back in the States after moving all around the world?
You know, it was off and on. We also, when we left Germany when I was, 2. And then we really kind of stayed around the southeast seaboard of the United States. We did move to Panama for a couple of years when we were 15. So that was a great experience, a lot of fun.
Did you learn Spanish there, or were you already speaking Spanish?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. But I really found a love for that culture.
Mm-hmm.
Latin culture was just, I think in my former life, maybe I was a Latina.
You were meant to be Cuban.
Yes, right, by default, right? So, but I did. I learned Spanish between Miami and Panama. And it was a great experience.
And so then tell me about the trajectory from growing up in a household, a military family. What were some of the disciplines, structures? You said your mom modeled this for you, and a lot of her leadership style that she exhibited as the colonel's wife. Colonel's wife.
Officer, yeah.
Officer.
So I would say, you know, my father was not rigid in any way. You know, it was always, we were a God first family. Faith first, always, family first. And my parents modeled a very loving relationship and loving household for us. I will say that moving around, especially as a military dependent, and going to Department of Defense schools, you really learn to love all cultures, because so many of the kids are, you know, mixed with, you know, you have Filipino and Black, or German and Black, or you know, white and Asian, and because of all the different military bases that these soldiers move around to. So it was really cool growing up with such a mixture of different cultures.
I love that.
Yeah,
you know,
special.
It's so interesting. My husband, Ray, grew up in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. So his family also is military dependents. And I remember that he told me, he lived in Germany as well. They were stationed at Ramstein.
Okay.
And then they were stationed at Bentwaters in England. And he lived in California and Arkansas and all over the world. But he always says that the first time he ever experienced racism was when they went to a public school in South Carolina when they weren't on military base education. And he always talks about how extraordinary it was to go to school in a military school on a base.
Yes.
The education was incredible. The teachers were bought in. You were raised by a village of everything that Ray knows how to do, whether it was shooting a basketball, playing pool, playing chess, swimming, playing soccer, football. Every single thing that he learned how to do, he learned on a military base, a military installation. But he always talks about how it was so diverse, so multicultural. There was so much love and respect. But he experienced racism for the first time when he moved to South Carolina and went to a public school. Did you experience something similar where when you were no longer on base, you were like, oh, wow, the civilian world is a little bit different than a military installation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, and I think I was in high school in Panama. So that's kind of where I just learned to just really embrace all the different cultures. And that was in the 90s. So, you know, we had Belle Biv DeVoe and
yes.
and all those great
BBD, thought it was
yes, me. Yes. So it was fun to just kind of be in that world at that age in Panama. And I would say Panama was it was a little bit looser than the U.S. You know, there were like really fun street parties on the base and things like that with the Panamanians and the U.S. dependents. So it was a great, fun experience. And then I moved back to the States. We moved to Georgia. And I will say it was kind of a culture shock. I was 15 and a half. And I remember coming back and just coming to this upper middle class school neighborhood, and it was a completely different world.
It was segregated.
And I have to say, I immediately I got on the hip hop dance team, you know, and I kind of clung to
the black and brown kids. You had to find your tribe because that's what you were used to.
Yeah. And I just wanted to mix with everybody, you know, and I think to this day I'm still that way. You know, I married a Latino, and
it's amazing. And you utilize all of that and you tap into all of that in your current role.
Yes.
And the current role that you have is so powerful and impactful and important. And from the outside looking in, I say that, like, you know, you're the queen of Miami because, I'm sorry, Canes footballs, it's it. It's our game in town.
Thank you.
Have to agree. And shout out the Canes. We were like state champs. Yes, exactly. Let's throw it for you.
5-0.
State champs, 5-0. They say number 2 in the nation. I say number 1 in the nation.
Yeah, let's go.
And so it's been a really incredible couple of years. And right now we're in a moment.
Yes.
And we all feel it.
Yes.
Yeah, we are in a moment. But before we get to the moment, talk to me a little about the trajectory from being in high school in Panama, coming back to the States in Georgia, going to college. Did you and your sister go to the same college?
No, my sister. So at the time when we were of college age, we had moved back to Georgia for the 2 years of high school and then college. So I went to Georgia State. I just really wanted to get all my education over with. So
Smart.
I wanted to work full time. I always wanted to be a C-level woman. I always envisioned myself as a woman in leadership, and I wanted to be a boss. So I was like, let's go ahead and just get this college thing over with and done with so I can move on with my life and, you know, keep it rolling. So I went to school. Most of my school was at night school because I wanted to work full time in the day.
Wow.
So I started, my first real job was at the Weather Channel. I was an administrative assistant to the director of meteorology in Latin America.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where I learned about corporate America, and quickly realized that that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in a leadership role, but I did not want to work as an employee. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And a lot of that decision came from sitting in traffic for an hour each way in Atlanta. And then going to school at night. So I thought, I don't think I want to do this every day of my life for the next 30 years. And that's kind of where the entrepreneurial bug started.
And so what was the first thing you decided you wanted to do?
Well, I was lucky enough to have a mentor. And I've had a few, but the first one was at a financial advisory organization, and it was a woman. And her name is Deborah Tanj. Shout out to Deborah Tanj.
Deborah.
But I really learned that, you know, you can be a wife and a mother and a badass businesswoman, and you can have it all. You got to work hard,
right?
You know, and there are sacrifices that come with that. But I realized that's what I wanted to do, and I needed to do something that was mine and on my own, and that I could still be the mom and be the wife and be the career lady too. So,
woman after my own heart.
Yeah,
we're not monoliths. We're not just one thing. And I think sometimes at different phases in our life, we wear a hat that feels like it's the hat that we're wearing right now, and we're still doing a bunch of other stuff. But it's okay to change. It's okay to pivot and decide to do new things.
Sure.
And I love that about you. And I think a lot of times people meet women that are professional sports dependents, very similar to military dependents, and they think, okay, well, you're sitting at home watching Oprah and eating bonbons, and then you're showing up in heels and a full hair of makeup at these games, and that's your existence. But they don't realize that the majority of the people that are support systems for these massive organizations, that in and of itself is a full-time job.
Absolutely. We are CEO of household.
Yes.
1,000%.
Yes. And most of these women, in addition, run businesses. I mean, you started a nonprofit, this leading ladies organization that taps into all of the places in Miami and beyond that need support. So tell me a little bit about how you decided that the leading ladies was something that sparked a fire inside of your soul, because it's a movement.
It is.
It's not some small thing.
Yeah.
It is a very, very big deal.
Yes.
And you are so dedicated to it. And it's constant. And it's not just like, oh, it's football season and then I'm on vacation. No, you're never further away from Miami than an hour.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact. If you can't get back in an hour by plane, you're not going.
It's true.
So how did the idea of doing the leading ladies and the magazine and the guidebook and all of the work that you're doing in the community really come to play?
Well, it was 2009,
Okay.
and I had my first son.
Mhm.
He was 6 months old, and I was, at the time, I was a publisher for Brickle magazine and Key Biscayne magazine. And I loved my job in publishing. It was basically advertising sales. And so I was on a sales call with one of my VIB clients, and I just remember looking down at my 6-month-old, and he's going, and he wants me to pick him up. And I'm like trying to, get this deal closed, and I've got this
you're
child
rocking
like
the baby
whining,
carriage with a foot.
and I'm like, and I realized at that moment, like, I don't think I can do both right now. This is not, I need to be available for him. And as much as I loved my job and I loved all of the perks, and I was also in the mega yachting industry as well with another publication. So it was so fun and lots of travel, but I was not going to be able to do both at the level that I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I knew that my children were going to take first priority always. And so I realized I'm going to have to take a pause from this job. And so, with Mario's job, I knew there was a chance that we can move around a lot.
And where was Mario coaching at that time?
At the time, we were at FIU.
Okay.
We were at FIU for 6 years. And I organically, this is just a hobby of mine, I love to host dinner parties with my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Right. And at the time, I remember I was hosting a small gathering of 4 or 5 ladies. And I remember it was like one of those moments where it's in slow motion and like the scene goes quiet, but your thoughts are loud. And it was just like, look at her. She's a lawyer, and she's a yacht broker, and she's in hospitality, and she's a marketing guru. And I just thought, wow, the power at this table is so vast. These are some amazing women. I need to do something with this. I need to make this a bigger movement. And so I realized that I could entertain and gather these women together. And let's put a cause behind it. Let's put something behind it where we're giving back to the community. And that's how Leading Ladies League was born. So I love it because it could travel with me no matter where we went. We've been to Alabama. We were there for 4 years. We were at Oregon for 5 years. Wow. And it was something that I could bring with me, gather my tribe of women, whether it's coaches' wives or just friends in the community, and host events where we're having fun and we're giving back.
Incredible. And I think it's like, you don't really know. Like, I think a lot of times we have these big dreams for our life, and we are always trying to walk in purpose and like really set the intention for what we're hoping this part of our life will be. And I always say this, like, I forget about what I want what God wants for me.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
His dream for me is infinitely bigger than anything I could ever even dream up for myself, right? And I am so grateful for that. But what's so beautiful about what you've built, has the ability, like you said, to travel and to make impact no matter where you are. And I think a lot of times that's really helpful for parents, male or female, to know that, okay, maybe at this phase of my life, it needs to be something that I can do online. At this phase of my life, I can be more hands-on, because I even see that in the restaurant. Where there were years where I worked 18 hours a day, going to tables and taking out the garbage and making the gluten-free blueberry pancakes, or coming in here at 1 a.m. to get breakfast ready for the University of Miami Canes football team or whatever. And then there were years where it's like, I'm on the phone doing Zoom calls with potential franchisees. So it's like, you have to kind of also address the needs in your life in that moment. And you've navigated that so beautifully. Do you think that a lot of your ability to do that was because you traveled so much as a little girl?
Sure. And also, I think right now I have teenage boys, so I'm in a position where I can do bigger projects because they need me a little less.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in this like relaunch phase where, the book and the magazine were just born in the last few months. And I'm in this position where, okay, now I want a franchise. Now I want to grow the movement and make it nationwide and worldwide. So, I'm on a path to do that. I'm on a mission to do that because I want to exponentially amplify women who are doing big things in the community.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And you know what? The other thing that's so amazing about that is it's not about you.
Right.
Right? Like so often it's like, okay, well, it's about me. It's about my brand. It's about my this, blah, blah. No, your brand is about women.
Yes.
It's about highlighting and uplifting the women in your life that inspire you and how they're giving back into the community.
Yes.
And we all should be celebrating that.
Absolutely.
How is it possible for people that are watching and listening who've been all over the world or are navigating a transition similarly to what you're talking about where our kids need us a little bit less, be a part of the Leading Ladies movement? Is there a place where we can go online to join or support?
leadingladiesleague.com.
Okay.
Also, Jessica Cristobal Official on Instagram.
Okay.
We also have a Leading Ladies magazine.
Love this
on
magazine.
Instagram.
Jess, this is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And how often does it come out? Is it yearly
right now? We're quarterly.
Quarterly.
Okay. And we just highlight women of all different backgrounds.
Yep.
And in different industries who are leading in their fields.
Phenomenal. Now, one of the things that we didn't talk about, but I know was a big thing for you this year, was pageantry.
Yes.
I mean, you are drop dead gorgeous and you are a beauty, but you're also, someone that has entered the beauty queen world for a while. And I think a lot of times when we think about myself, even like, of course I want to be beautiful. I have an ego, right? But sometimes I just want to be ugly in my house.
Oh yeah, same.
I want to be ugly in my house. Right? I don't want to be ugly. I just want to be ugly in my house. How do you quantify beauty, right? And obtaining your own beauty standard for yourself and showing up as your best self so that you can be your best because you feel your best. How do you juggle that idea around not always having to be in a beauty standard and having it really be about your character? Because even though you are beautiful, your beauty really radiates from within because of what you're about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think authenticity is the closest thing to perfection. And so I try to go online. If I go live, I try to go online sometimes without makeup or in my workout clothes because 90% of the time that's what you see. That's Jessica Cristobal.
Right.
I'm momming, I'm working out, I'm running errands.
Right. You're running a business.
I'm running a business, and there's so much planning goes into each event that we produce. So I just try to show up as my authentic self, not always perfect and not always made up and not always with hair and makeup.
And that's why people gravitate towards you because they see the beauty that's within. And also I think they feel the warmth and the generosity that you put out into the world. I mean, I just know for myself, witnessing the work that you've done with Voices with Children. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Thank you.
There's never an opportunity that they can't call on you to help them raise money, to bring awareness. And tell me a little bit about how you got introduced to Voices with Children and you decided this is something that I have to take on myself.
So I went to one of their fundraisers about 2 years ago, and it was their annual fundraiser. It was a lot of fun. It's actually coming up on October 31st. It's called the Superhero Luncheon. And they have children who are in the foster care system get up on the microphone and speak about what Voices for Children has done for them. And Voices for Children is an advocacy program for youth in foster care.
Right.
And so
these are children that are often forgotten,
abused, neglected. And so our organization steps in and we're a voice.
Yeah.
We're a trusted source that they can come to if they have a need or if they need some shoes or if they need someone to represent them in court. We're there. So it's a special, special organization. But I think my purpose for being aligned with an organization like this is mentorship. I just have such a heart for pouring into young people because I want every person, but especially young people, to know that they can do, have, and be anything they want in this life. There are no limits except for what's in their mind. But some of these kids don't even know what's available to them. They don't know that they're limitless. If they don't hear it, how do they know that?
Right.
So I am here to tell them.
That's incredible. So tell me a little bit about the pageantry journey, because this is something I don't know anything about. Like literally zero. I'm 5'2". This was never an option for me.
You can be a queen.
Tell me about, listen, I am a queen. I'm not a beauty queen. But tell me about this. how this came to you and how this represents and shows up in your life, because it's so special and it's so unique and it's very, 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 very different.
Well, it's funny because this was an opportunity that came along. I would say May of 2025. I got a call from a former Mrs. International 2022, Sandy Glant. She's also a business coach. And she says, Jess, I have a great opportunity for you. It's to be a delegate at the Mrs. International pageant as Mrs. Florida. Wow. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Right? And I thought, oh boy, that sounds amazing. Am I ready for this? Am I prepared? Because I wasn't.
And had you ever done anything with beauty in the past?
I had 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I was a delegate at large as a Miss Teen Florida. And I was 6 weeks later, they put me in the pageant for Miss Florida, United States, 30 years ago.
30 years ago. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And this came back to you.
Well, happened again. And so so I thought, okay, God, what is this? What are you doing here? I really want to have like a nice chill summer with my family. And she says, you have the perfect platform with Leading Ladies League, and this is a great experience. And it's a week in Tennessee. You're going to be competing with other nationalities, and it's so fun. You got to do it. And I thought, oh boy. And P.S. Mario has to be there too. He has to walk you on stage.
That's the hardest part. Not that he's not willing, but with his schedule.
Right. I had to convince him, So I thought about it. I thought about it and I thought, I kind of wanted every reason. I actually wanted him to low-key say no, just because it was just that fear came up, like, I'm not good enough. Who am I to be this person? And then the other voice was like, yes, go for it. Do it. And I always say, I try to impress upon young people, especially like the thing that scares you a little bit, but also gives you butterflies is what you should do.
Yeah.
Say yes. Say yes. Even if it's scary. Even if it feels like it's too big for you, that's exactly the nudge that you need to say yes.
Yeah.
And so I said yes.
Yes.
I said yes. And so it was such a great experience. It was in July, this past summer. Mario came. He loved it. He was so supportive. He was so supportive. And
we love a humble king.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had 6 weeks to prepare.
What was the preparation like?
Oh, it's crazy. It's a full-time job.
Okay. Tell me something.
Wardrobe. So like I said, it's a week experience at the pageant, and then the last 2 nights are your finals. But it's, 3 outfit changes a day. It's rehearsals for hours and hours a day. It's 3 hair and makeup touch-ups a day. So you're wearing like full hair and makeup, full glam all day, every day. Very little sleep. But the sisterhood that was there was just incredible. In fact, a lot of those queens are coming to the Glam Soiree party that I'm hosting in May.
Yes, amazing.
So you'll get to meet them.
Okay, awesome.
And it was phenomenal. I placed top 15. Yes. So that was great. It was a great experience. And I'm so proud that I did it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll always have this banner and that crown, to say that,
you're part of it.
I was Mrs. Florida International 2020.
It's amazing, Jess. And you know what I love about this? It's like, we always think it's like our timing, but this was God's perfect timing for you. And sometimes I say that I think I'm a 30-year overnight success.
That's good.
I started in the business when I was 18 years old. I signed my first record deal.
Wow.
With Atlantic East West with my girl group when I was 18 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And then we went on to Motown Records, and then I started doing TV and film. And, here I am now, almost 51 years old, and I'm back in front of the camera. And so I'm like, you know what, God, I trust your perfect timing for me. I'm like prophesizing over my own life right now.
I love it.
But I really do believe that I am a 30-year overnight success. And there's no straight line to success.
That's so true.
So the fact that this came back to you.
I know.
And it was someone that mentioned your name in a room full of opportunities. And you had the courage to say, okay, I'm a mom of 2 teenage boys, but let's get this pageantry body and face back out there.
Exactly. Almost 50 myself. And I thought, a pageant girl?
Right.
Like, okay. Like, when is this opportunity ever going to come again? Yeah. I had to do it. I had to.
Awesome.
And I'm so glad I did.
It's awesome. Did your sister come?
She did.
She did? Did you help with the wardrobe?
She did. And then my sister-in-law was a major support. She came for the week because I call her a project manager because she's a 5th grade teacher and she's so helpful to me. And she's great. She's like my manager. So she kept me in line and kept my clothes organized and
where
all
you
of
had
that
to be
stuff.
and
Oh
like
my
all your,
goodness.
because I'm sure there were speaking engagements and
Totally.
media and all of that stuff.
So much.
It's not just showing up in a beautiful
No,
gown, right?
and you've got,
there's a lot
yeah. I mean, we had hair and makeup call times. I think one of my times was like 3:45.
in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, who looks good at 4:45 in the
Yeah,
morning?
exactly.
It's insanity.
Like, you're sleepwalking at that point. So.
Whew. But the experience was incredible, and you made
Okay.
relationships with all of the other Mrs.
Yes.
States.
Yes.
And you're
yes.
corralling a large group of them to now support these events that you're
Yeah,
doing.
and just for us to stay in touch forever, you know, there will only be one class of 2025 Mrs. International.
Wow.
So, you know, and we're all mature. We all support each other. We love each other. Everyone, you know, represents different things. And
Do
so
you think that energy is different from like the pageantry that happens when you're a little bit younger, or no? Do you still think that is, because when you see these women winning things like, you know, Miss Teen USA or Miss USA or Miss Universe or even Miss World, which we just recently saw some clips about Miss World,
yes.
it seems for the most part very supportive.
Yes.
Was that your experience when you were younger as well?
I would say so. Now, I was thrust into that over like a 48-hour period. So it was like, that was another say yes opportunity that I jumped on, and I got on a plane and had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But I would say so. But I think, you know, as we get older, we kind of, there's like less competition.
Yeah, it's more collaborative.
It's more collaborative, and we've been there, done that, you know, and we're moms, we're wives.
You want to see everybody win.
Exactly. And we, at the end of the day, it's a great experience, but we're also going back home to our fabulous lives and going to continue being our fabulous selves.
A boss.
Right?
Exactly. Right.
So I was totally at peace with whatever the outcome was going to be. And I enjoyed every minute.
I'm so glad you said yes.
Yeah.
And isn't that like the thing in life? That's the part it seems like that you're trying so desperately with the work you're doing with Voices with Children and even with your business to try to inspire people to say yes and to understand that yes is possible for them.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's, you know, the book, Leading Ladies Guidebook, that's a lot of what I talk about. It's a very easy read. I wanted it to be applicable for 5th and 6th graders.
Okay.
So it's simple, and it's short, but it's also success principles that are important for us to be reminded of or to learn about if we don't already know them.
You know, you mentioned earlier about your mom, that your mom was a leader in her life, even though she was a dependent of your dad as colonel. But she was a leader, and that you tapped into her success principles that she exhibited as she was being a support system for all of the other military wives, the Army wives in her purview. When you think about like maybe 3 to 5 success principles that you through osmosis curated from your mom and that you brought into your own life, what are some of those pillars?
Well, we just covered say yes to opportunities.
That's one of them.
Show up as your best self. You know, I like to think of every day becoming 1% better, whether that's because I worked out or because I did something that was uncomfortable that I, you know, faced and dealt with. Another one would be your attitude is your altitude, determines your altitude, right? So enthusiasm is your currency. So show up excited every single day, because as long as we have air in our lungs, we have purpose on this earth, right?
Amen.
Your purpose is a who, not a what.
Tell me about that.
So,
first time hearing that.
I really think that we are here for other people.
Yeah.
We're here to serve.
Servant spirit.
Yeah.
We're here to serve.
And that's what I, you know, remind myself every single day, whether it's because I'm Mario's wife and I'm pouring into other women or kids that are looking at coming to the University of Miami, or women who are looking for a community, or someone who wants to attend one of our events. You know, we are here to serve. And if there is one thing that you glean from our conversation or something that you've heard us say that resonates with you, my job is fulfilled.
Yeah, it's so true. You impact one life, you change the world.
Yeah.
You know, even when we got ready to start doing Grown Woman, I had so much nervousness.
Sure.
I had so much trepidation. It was like, what am I doing? At 50 years old, I want to like go back in front of the camera, because the truth is, I actually did something similar like this when I was 17. I was a freshman in college, and one of the girls in my group, Tiffany, one of her best friends is this guy DeMarco, and he had a show on his community college where he needed a co-host. And so he asked me if I would be his co-host. And we had a blast. I haven't spoken or thought about DeMarco, God, in 30 plus years, DeMarco. And I hope and pray that you're doing well. But he gave me the seat beside him, and we shot all of these episodes and it was probably like closed circuit TV for his community college in New Jersey, in Jersey City, New Jersey. But I had the experience, and you know, it's like you go back in your mind and you're like, wow, do I start something new at this age? And the imposter syndrome creeps up, right? And it's like, I've got so much going on, just like you, kids, husband that travels, professional sports, you name it. Thriving business, getting ready to franchise, all the things, you know, multiple things that I'm doing. Do I have time for this? And I was feeling really kind of hopeless about the world at the time. I was feeling like there was a lot of sadness and a lot of strife and a lot of, you know, polarization in the world. And I thought, what am I not using? What talent or gift has God given me that I am not using right now to be of service to myself, to my family, to my community? And I thought, you know what, Shannon?
Yeah.
You're going to have to get out in front of the camera again. And I didn't want to do it. I have loved being anonymous for a while. I really have. But you know what? That's not what God wants for me. I have a voice.
Shine.
I have a platform, an incredible platform. And just like you, very similarly to you, I don't want to say just like you, but I am so inspired by the women in my life that have been through some shit.
Yes.
And have not given up and have come out on the other side better, stronger, more dynamic, more powerful. Yes. And they're uplifting communities and inspiring people. And I just thought, you know what? That's what a fucking grown woman is. Yeah. That's what a grown-ass woman is. Yeah. But who's going to tell that story? Because so many stories are only about extremely famous people.
Polished, perfect.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there are so many ordinary women that are doing extraordinary things to impact women and people's lives in their community that don't get the shine. You know, and that's why I wanted to sit down with you, because truly the work that you are doing through the Leading Ladies organization, the Leading Ladies League, through your magazine, with Voices with Children, being an incredible wife and mother, and the work that I have seen you, I'm going to cry right now and I'm so sorry, but the work that I have seen you do personally, holding space for these student athletes.
Oh, thank you.
I have a daughter and 4 sons, and they're all athletes. And I'll tell you, if my children had the privilege of being a student athlete for a man like Mario Cristobal, or to be loved on by you, I would feel like I won the lottery.
Thank you.
Because, of course, it's about winning. It's the most dynamic and powerful college football program in the country right now, and that's a fact.
Yes.
But beyond the winning, it is about pouring into these young men and giving them confidence and giving them support and letting them know that they matter more than the down or the run or the yardage or the defense, that they matter as human beings. And that is evident when you look at a story like Cam Ward's story, or any of the young men that have run through that program in the last, call it 5-6 years. And for me, it has been such an honor for us at Grown to contribute to Mario and your mission in an infinitesimal way by providing food, by providing catering.
Which we love.
Thank you.
Which we love. Your product is so good and so clean and so healthy and so nourishing. And shout out to you all, because I use you for all of my events, all of my dinner parties, all of my parties, in addition to all of our recruiting events, because we believe in what you do and the clean quality ingredients that you use. You know, you're nourishing.
And so I think, you know, a lot of times we don't talk about the catering work that we do because we don't want to put our customers on blast. It's like if you hire us to do a catering event and you're one of these large-scale organizations, multinational companies, etc., unless we say like, hey, do you mind if we post this? We just don't do that, because it's like you're hiring us to do a service, right?
No, I'll put you on blast.
I know you do.
Y'all are legit.
Thank you.
We love Grown.
Thank you. And so, but the one thing that's so amazing is that with the relationship that we built over a 10-year period at the University of Miami, being a sponsor of University of Miami Athletic Nutrition, it is such an honor for our team. I mean, you see, like, our guys go to the games.
Yes.
They're hosting parties at home. You know, they're wearing stuff in here on game days and putting it on their own social media, because we take so much pride in knowing that in our own tiny little way, we're contributing to the success of the team.
Yes.
Because we are feeding coach every day. We're working with recruiting, and you're hosting events. We're working, doing breakfasts, lunch, or dinners, or in-flight meals.
Yes.
You know, for football, for basketball, for women's basketball and volleyball. And because feeding athletes is in our DNA, you know, my husband Ray was in the NBA for 18 years. He's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I've been feeding athletes for the entirety of my adult life.
Of course.
We care. But what I love as a mom of athletes is knowing that when I'm watching you guys, when no one else is watching, you know, we're in your backyard under a tent doing a pasta bar and Wagyu beef sliders and, you know, a crab boil and macaroni and cheese and cornbread and collard greens. And you're there with these families and you guys aren't watching us watching you. The love and admiration and respect that you have for these student athletes, these moms know they have to feel that their sons are going to be cared for.
Yes. And so we want them to feel it when they walk in our home, that it's a loving home. We want them to know that they are always welcome in our home. We want the food to feel like love and nourishment when they're there, which is why we have you all come and help us. And, you know, I try to interface with as many parents as I can and just let them know, like, when you send your child to our organization to work under Mario Cristobal and these other coaches that are pouring into them and training them every single day to be good standing men in society.
The best versions of themselves.
Absolutely. We are also supporting them. We're nurturing them. And I want them to know that they are coming to a place where they're going to be cared for and safe and loved, and that you can turn your child over to us and they will be in good hands.
And that's what's happening.
Yes.
And I've seen it with my own eyes and I felt it with my own heart, you know, whether it's Friday night banquets or Thanksgiving events, you know, or even just, you know, dropping off breakfast in the mornings. You know, it's like people have no idea. And I know because I experienced it as an NBA wife, as an NBA dependent, what it means and what happens when you create such a close-knit community of support and love. Do you know what it translates to? I know you know. It translates to winning.
Yes.
Because that time you spend together off the field, off the court, where you're having Halloween parties, where you're showing up at each other's kids' piano recitals, where we're doing a Super Bowl watching party at our house. I mean, this is how I've lived for my entire adult life.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the exact same thing, if even on a bigger scale, when I watch what you and Mario Cristobal do. And that love and that joy and that admiration, appreciation, respect, and dedication to these young men when their parents aren't always around, that's what you're seeing when you're seeing winning. You're seeing that they're loved and they're cared for.
Yes.
And I also love, and I don't know how many people at home that are watching realize this, because we've actually prepared food for other coaches under other regimes. Coach Cristobal is committed to surrounding his student athletes with former players that were in the NFL.
Yeah.
And have worked around the league. Even your chaplain was a professional football player. I'm sorry. What? I mean, how you are stacking the deck for them and constantly bringing back legends to speak to them, to pour over them, to encourage them. To me, I'm like, this is it.
You know, it's funny because Mario and I had a conversation not too long ago about, you know, what was it that attracted you to me? You know, and I told him, I said, you're a winner. You know, I saw it early on. And this was not when he was a big head coach or anything like that. He was fairly new in his career at the time. This was in 2005. So it was a long time ago.
20 plus
but
years
I
ago.
realized, like, I only want to align myself with winners. That goes for the women that I surround myself with. That goes for the coaches that Mario surrounds himself with. And I think that translates into the energy that we present, you know, when we are recruiting and when we're hosting. You know, we are a championship program and championship family on and off the field.
Yes.
You know,
You guys are a Hall of Fame family.
thank you.
It's only a matter of time.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud and honored to know you, to be in your ethos, and to have the privilege of working with you and for you.
Yes.
And I mean that from my heart.
Likewise.
I get very emotional when I think about it because it really is, it's been a game changer for us. We take so much pride in what we do to support you guys.
I appreciate that. And you absolutely do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I also want to say how you show up for the other women in the organization, the coaches' wives, the mothers of these young recruits and these players, that some of them are there for 6-7 years.
True.
And you consistently show up again and again and again, and you open your home and you sacrifice your time away from your own family so that you can be there and hold space for them. And that's what it takes. That is what a leading lady does. So I just want to thank you so much, Jess. The first lady of UM Canes football, the leading lady, wife, mother, pageantry boss, entrepreneur, and really the queen of Miami. I'm so blessed and fortunate that you joined me today.
Thank you, Shannon.
God bless you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.